Hi, it's me, Rasheed Ogunlaru, coach, speaker, and author of Soul Trader, putting heart back into your business, and founder of soultrader.biz. And it's just a delight to be here with you for our latest podcast. And you can see also, if you happen to be watching, that today we're also doing the video version of the podcast. So here we are live and direct with you. It's a real delight to be here with you today. And what's interesting, if you happen to be watching, is that one thing that I've noticed today is that my camera is doing a really interesting thing. It's fading in and out. And I think that's kind of appropriate today because there's something about business and focus. And we're going to be looking at today at your unique business journey and story. You know, there are going to be times along this journey where everything is clear, everything is focused. And then there's going to be other times where everything is really foggy and it's not so clear. And it's really, really interesting. It's really, really fascinating. But today, the core of this journey is about your unique business journey and story. It's really, really essentially important because your business, especially as a sole trader where it's just you and your business, you know, what's really interesting about that is that every business story and journey is different. You know, what it's about, why you do it, what's most important to you, the ups and downs of it is going to be really different. There are a few things that are going to be the commonalities, but essentially everybody's journey is different. So that's what I want to talk about today, your unique business journey and story. The business importance, you understand the business side of it and that it's all aligned for what you need to do, what do you need it to be for your customers. The journey bit is really, really important because there's going to be ups and downs, twists and turns, all sorts of things along the journey, like that train that's going along outside. And then there's your unique story, how you tell that story. The story is a lot to do with the marketing, the connection with your customers. Now, the interesting thing is, whilst there might well be, you know, thousands and thousands of people in your business, in your sector, there's only one you. And so that's really important, especially when we get to the bit about the journey and the story, so that we can really maximize that story. But let's start off with your business. What is it that you do? Why is it that you do it? How did you get into what it is that you do? Why did you decide on what it is that you do, your business? So I'm a life coach, I'm a business coach, I'm a leadership coach, I'm a motivational speaker. For me, and I'm an author, so my business is a mixture, it's a blend of these things. It didn't always start off being that way. You know, and there's some products and I do run courses, I run programs, I run a range of things. What's the nature of your business? What are all the different moving parts of your business? And from time to time, what I'm going to do today is that I've also happened to have some of my Soul Trader cards here. So I'm going to at some point pull out certain cards. I'm going to pull out my first card. It's really appropriate because this card is it's a spanner. So that's all around the operational side of your business. You know, the moment that you know that you are in business, you're going to need to learn a lot about the logistics, the admin, the operational side. What are all the moving parts? What are all of the logistics? What are all the rules and the regulations that you need to abide by? So, for example, when I trained as a coach, I needed to, first of all, get my qualifications and get all of that stuff in place. But I also needed to learn, you know, what kind of stuff do people do to onboard clients, to keep clients? How did I set out what my pricing was going to be? And that kind of also links to a marketing, by the way. But how did I do, you know, how was everything going to work? Where was I going to work from? Back then, I adjusted a room in my house to become my coaching studio. Where I could see people one-to-one. And so what are all of those things? Where you're going to be based? How's it going to work? How are you going to get your product to your clients? All of those logistics. There's quite a lot of operational things to sort out in terms of your business, right? And they may well shift. May well be suppliers. There might well be people you're working in partnership with. There might be things that you've got to agree with, you know, sort out. So those operational sides of the business are really often challenging. And what's interesting for this operational side, for those of you who are sole traders, is that very often we do what we do because we're passionate about the core thing of our business, coaching people, gardening, whatever it might be, the therapy that you do, whatever it is, the consultancy you do, absolutely whatever it is that you run, the charity that you run, whatever it might well be. And so I think a real test of how passionate you are about it is to what degree you're prepared to do this logistics and these, you know, these technical bits of your business. I think it's really important in business that you understand where the bits where your strengths and where the areas that are your weaknesses. So that classic business SWOT, strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats, is really, really important. And it's not just important at the beginning, it's important as you diversify, as you change, and so on, to really, really be clear about that. So that picks up on some of the business stuff of it, but also how much do you know about your industry? What knowledge do you have, and what kind of knowledge you actually have on your customers and what it is that they want? I'm going to pick up another card here from this card set and see which card comes up. Oh, now this is interesting. This card here, let's see if you can see it, is chapter 5 in the book. It's about conversations. As you can see, there's the hear no, speak no, see no kind of thing here. So conversations. So I have a saying that customer conversion is dependent on the right customer conversation. So we've got to understand this, right? So this is really interesting link between just, the first of all, the thing you need to about the research of your customers and understanding your customers and always keeping that relationship with customers. And as I talk about in the Soul Trader book, being in sight, in mind, in heart, where it is that you're going to see them, where is it you're going to find them? How is it that you are going to say the things that really resonate with them? Does your service and what you do and how you articulate that really resonate with them? And in heart, how is that people can really, really connect with you? I'm sure we'll touch on that when we come onto the thing about the story. But it's really, really, really important that we really understand that customer conversion is dependent on the right customer conversation. So we've got all of the logistics sides, putting all of those things in place, understanding what we're doing, understanding, researching our industry, knowing what we do, making sure the product is right, making sure it's fit for purpose, making sure it's of high quality, and so on. And then there's all the stuff around the marketing and how it is that we're going to connect with people. So that's a little bit about your business. And there will be some other themes around your business that I'm sure are going to emerge as we go deeper into this podcast. What I want to do now is to talk a little bit about your journey. And interestingly, let's see, the one card that I did turn over from my set here is this card here. I think I begin in the Soul Trader book by saying something like, until you're clear, nothing's clear. There's another version of that. Until you're clear, nothing's clear. Once you're clear, everything's clear. But actually, just like a window is going to need constantly cleaning and clarifying. Who are you? Why are you here? What is this about? What's this journey about for you? Is running a business for you about the fun? Is it about pleasure? Is it a part-time activity? Is it something you're wanting to do lifelong? Is it about a business that you're wanting to scale? There's, each and every one, again, of us is unique in terms of what that business is about and what that journey is about, what it is that we're trying to do, what it is that we're trying to achieve. Now, your mind's going to want a plan. It's going to want a strategy. It wants a plan, like I'm going any journey. It wants to know where am I going, where I'm going to be, when, and it wants to do all that research. And I often say that running a business is like going on a holiday somewhere where you've never been before. So all of the stuff that you would need to do for going on a holiday absolutely applies for you in terms of business. It absolutely completely applies. What's the research? What's the planning? Who do you know who's been there before? Making sure the finance are in place, or the logistics, where you're going to be and when, and do you understand all the cultural nuances in terms of where it is that you're going to? And what you're going to find is that what you think it is about, what you imagine it is going to be like, that the reality is going to be slightly different. It's that classic thing that they say that the map isn't necessarily the territory, but your mind wants a plan about what it is, but also know what kind of a traveler you are. Some people are like backpackers, and some people plan everything to the nth degree. It also is about, I often talk about how big it is that you dream. If it is that it's like dreaming, it's about mountain climbing, conquering this and, having a huge international business, achieving this and that, then like climbing a mountain, the training, the tools, the team, and all of those things are going to need to be, there's going to be far more involved in the time frame, the time span, than if you were just climbing hills where you might be able to do it with the footwear that you're wearing at the moment. So the journey, what is this journey, and what is this journey about for you? I think that's a really good moment to talk a little bit about a story. But actually, before I do, I'm just tempted to turn over one more card. Let's see which one is calling out to me. Oh, well, again, it's really interesting. I just called that out, So it's really interesting, this journey. There are going to be twists. There are going to be turns along this journey. There are going to be twists and turns and journeys. So in other words, even when you've got your goals, even when you've got your map of what it is going to be, and you've got your plan, you've got your business plan, how things are going to turn out is going to be different. And so it's how you adapt, how you adjust, that's going to be absolutely key. Let's begin to explore the third thing, which is your story. Now, your unique story is really, really important, because whilst there will be thousands and thousands of other people who do what you do, who do the training like you do, run a or they run a training business, or that they run their floristry business, or that they are their carpentry business, or whatever it might well be, or their charity, their consultancy business, whatever the nature of your business is, there is going to be thousands of people, no doubt, in that sector, aren't there? But there's only one you. And so this thing about the story is really important. You connecting with your story. What is your story? Interestingly, when I first trained as a coach, and the story I've told actually quite a lot of times, and I tell it in my book, The Gift of Inner Success, which is currently available on audio. And what's interesting in audio format, what's interesting for me was that I trained as a coach, loved the training and so on, but I always felt there was something missing about trust, energy, flow, the invisible stuff. The course was incredible, the training was incredible, and so on. But a lot that I was hearing about coaching for my entire industry was about goals, achieving this and that. And I always felt, but well, what about all of the other stuff, energy, trust, flow, acceptance, and all of that? So that was a really important part of my story, and the story that I needed to tell. But it was also a lot about what was the core, about what made me unique and so on, and why I was doing what I was doing. And so one of the things that's really important is, are you telling your story? Are you telling people why you do what you do? Because of course, what you do, there's people could go to so many other people, the thousands and thousands of other people. One of the things that I often do, first of all, is I go to people's websites, and I'll often say that often people are absent without leave. Their story isn't there, who they are, why they do it, their passion, their vision, their mission, none of that is there. It's really, really important that you tell that story. Just yesterday, I was running a training course for the Coaching Academy, who I trained with, who I'm a trainer for, associate trainer for. And over the last 3 days, and it was on about sales and marketing and fundamentals for coaches. And on day one, as well as talking about some of the basics around, understanding some basics around marketing, I spoke about the really importance of knowing your story. And there's an exercise I got them to do, which I'll invite you to do, which is to write down that story, your journey, all the things you've done, the qualifications, the strengths, the talents, the skills, the things that you've achieved, because these are parts of things that give you the credibility and the authority. And also they help people to really connect authentically to you and why it is that you do. Time to pull out another card. Let's see what card we're going to pull out here. Aha. Here we've got a card which is around customers, and it says buy now. How is it that you're going to get people to actually ultimately buy from you? How is it you're going to do that? You can't just put up the website and hope that people are going to buy from you. How is it that people are going to really connect with you? Well, that's going to mean that you're going to need to have an understanding of them. And it's going to mean that they're going to need to have an understanding of you and what it is that you do. And this is where I think, again, knowing what your unique story is and how it is that you can connect authentically. If you think about it, since infancy, we tell stories. We tell stories to our kids. We go to the movies, they're all about stories. We listen to music, it's all about individual people's story. So that thing about knowing about your story and ultimately your calling is really, really, really important. By the way, that's a really lovely segue to mention, I'm running we've got a new version of the Soul Trader, my regular webinar in proud partnership with the British Library's Business in Intellectual Property Centre. And it's part of their Reset Restart program, which is free to help businesses to really flourish or to really restart and to make headway in the wake of a couple of years after the COVID pandemic. Many businesses are still kind of struggling. So it's to help you, whether you're a new startup business or you've been in business for some while and you're wanting to kind of move further forward. And it's part of the Reset Restart program. And this one is called Renew Your Business Purpose. So again, it will help you to tap into you, your story, your journey, what it is that you're uniquely about. And it is free if you go to the soul-trader soultrader.biz website, you can find the next stage of that and join me for that, so you can explore more about you and your unique story and how it is that you can leverage it on your particular journey. So we've talked about your unique business. What is it? What are the what's all the moving parts of it, that the logistical bits of the business, and that needs to be done in unison with understanding who your customers are and what it is that they want. We must never lose sight of that. We've talked a little bit about the journey. What is it that's led you here to what it is that you do? And could you be leveraging that little bit more? And the journey is going to involve all sorts of challenges. And this is a lovely moment to talk about something that is common across every business and every journey. Again, the more people going on the train outside, if you're wondering what is that noise, it's a train going along outside. So the one thing that I think is likely to be common in the journey is that there are three things that you're going to need to have in any business: the mindset, the skill set, and the resourcefulness. The mindset of really believing in yourself. Some journeys are really tough. Some of the things that you say, oh, I want to achieve this, it's not going to be easy. There's going to be all sorts of challenges in you achieving that. So your mindset's going to be absolutely key, to climb that mountain. Funny enough, somebody I mentor has just been out to base camp at Everest and plans to climb the mountain. So actually the work and so on that's going to need, and the mindset that required, and we were actually talking about this, the mindset is absolutely key. He talks about some of the physical challenges, but then the mental challenges. It's the mindset that you're going to need to have. And that starts with backing yourself, believing in yourself. As I say, often put it, the relationship you should have with yourself is ally, ambassador, beloved, and best friend. So there's the mindset. The skill set, there's going to be a broad range of skills you're going to need. And many of them are going to include business skills, business knowledge, understanding business. And typically we tend to learn a lot of that along the way. But there's all sorts of courses and there's all sorts of resources to help you along that. And again, it's a good opportunity to mention the British Library's Business Intellectual Property Centre, especially as right now we're in a world where so much stuff is available online to wherever it is that you're listening to. Many of the webinars and so on you can access throughout the world. www.bl, as in British Library.uk/BIPC. Business Intellectual Property Centre. So there's all sorts of resources about research, understanding your business, protecting your ideas, etc., as well as all sorts of workshops, webinars, and so on, in person and online. Many things currently, and whilst I record this online, many things hopefully soon will also be in person for those of you in the UK and in around the London and the Southeast. But lots available online. And again, depending where it is that you are in the world, there may well also be other those kind of places, business libraries, business companies. There may well be industry organizations, and pretty much industry organizations for every sector where you can get a lot of this kind of knowledge, which will help tie into that skill set that it is that you need. So the skill set. And the last thing is resourcefulness. You're going to need to be resourceful. There's going to be all sorts of challenges, especially as a sole trader. Let's pick up another card. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so we've already talked about, so we're going to need to learn. That's a reminder. There's going to be lots of the operational stuff I'm going to need to learn. Am I going to do it, or am I going to need somebody else to do that in terms of the skills? Do I have the skills? Where are my strengths? Where are my passions? Where am I good? But what are the things I'm going to need to learn? I'm going to pick up another card. We've again talked about understanding our customers. Now, are you good at talking to the customers? Are you good at the marketing side? Do you need somebody else to help you to do that, or to do some of it? Do you need somebody to help you with the website? I remember many, many years ago, I had my website and I was beginning to do events and so on. And I thought, oh, it'd be good to automate the payments for events, online and so on. And I was kind of wrestling for a long time about how I was going to do that. And then I realized that the person who helped me build my website could probably do that. I spoke to them, and this thing, a challenge that I've been wrestling for months and months and months, they sorted out for me in about 30 minutes. Let's see. I'm going to shuffle the remaining cards here for a while and see what the next one that comes up is. Creativity. Creativity. You're going to need to be incredibly creative along this journey. So much of this is going to be a learning curve. So this ties in beautifully with the resourcefulness thing. They say necessity is the mother of invention, isn't there? And your business may have come from that nobody else was providing the support that the young people needed, that the older people needed, that people from this particular group that needed. And you're going to need to be creative about how you go about that. It's worth both taking a look at how people do that already and what the gaps are, and talking to people about what it is that they need, and trusting your own instincts and so on. I think for me, along the journey, I've had to a lot of the time trust my own instincts and my own creativity around this. So, and some of you may well come from creative backgrounds and run creative businesses, and many sole traders are creative. And I would say here, it's really, really important to trust your heart, to trust your instincts. And so a lot of the time I apply to business the things that I apply to things as a singer and songwriter. So my first background was in media, then I was a singer and songwriter. And in fact, if I look across here, my first products, Become Who You Are, Audio Talk, and my Gift of Inner Success and book, I approached how I approach singing. I remember really, really clearly with Become Who You Are, I thought, okay, well, what would be the track listing if this were an album? And the titles all came to me: The Myth of Modern Living, Finding Yourself, The Root Before the Problem. And then I just spoke it as a stream of consciousness. So trusting your own creativity about how you run your business. There is also an opportunity in business about how you're going to work, where you're going to work from, especially now. Where in the world are you going to work from? I was speaking to one of the other partners from the British Library just the other day, an amazing another coach who helps people with their funding, called Paul Grant. He runs an amazing business called The Funding Game. Check out his business, Funding Game, if you're looking to raise business for your finance for your business. He runs workshops, webinars, and provides one-to-one coaching as well. And what was really interesting, we were having this chat, and then he told me that he'd moved, and I had no idea that he was in a different part of the world. And we began speaking about that, how now we can be in all sorts of different parts of the world doing our work. So that's just one example of creativity. I was talking to somebody the other day, and we'd just come back from a cruise overseas, and she was saying that was somebody who she met there, and they ran their business from this boat on the traveling around the world. So there's all sorts of ways in which we can be creative, and creative around how our lifestyle, but also creative about our business. What is it that could work for you? So I've covered a lot of ground for you today. So let's just just one more time to do a recap, and then I'm going to maybe pick up one last card from the set of cards I've got. So we've talked about your unique business, journey, and story. Your business, there's going to be things we need to learn about business, about your particular industry, and operationally. Your journey, the journey is going to be unique, and there's going to be ups and downs. There are going to be some things that are unique to every industry or to every entrepreneur. The mindset stuff that you're going to need, the skills that you're going to need to learn about business, and then there's going to be unique skills to your the business that you're doing, and to making sure you've got the qualifications, the skill, the quality of the product, etc. Then the last thing is your story. Your story is so important, because that's the thing that's going to make you unique and to help you to connect uniquely with your customers. I'm going to pull one last card. The compassion card. My friend Nelson Mandela, compassion. And it's ironic that that is the last card. I'm going to pick up these cards because ultimately, Soul Trader is all about business from the heart. If your heart's not in it, why are you? You can build a financially successful business without caring about yourself or caring about others, by running yourself into the ground, by working every hour that is sent, by being tough and ruthless, but it's not going to be sustainable. Sooner or later, everybody's going to leave you. It's like in any relationship. Far better that we do business from the heart, that we trust our heart, we listen to our heart. So this compassion piece is about loving you, loving what you do, and loving others too, and coming about it from a place of heart. I have a saying that sooner or later, all of the tools and techniques will fail you. There'll be times that everybody says everything's in every book, including mine, all of these guaranteed programs about this, that won't work. Then at last you must follow your heart and trust your heart. Trusting your heart. And there's something quite magical about that. There is something quite unique about that. And I found throughout my business, my career, at the start and throughout, I had to listen to the heart to find out the way in which was most authentic to me to run this business. And for me, it's about listening. It's about tuning in, listening to myself, trusting my instinct, trusting what's coming through. Without that, none of the products, none of the books, or none of the talks, and none of that would have happened. None of it would have happened. My unique space in the industry, unique reason why people come to me, I wouldn't be telling that unique story. I wouldn't be sharing that story with you. The podcast, the thingy, the Soul Trader book, none of that would have happened had I not followed my heart. So that's a really lovely place to leave it, your unique business story and journey. Thank you so much. Oh, one last thing. For more, you can enjoy the entire Soul Trader podcast series, soul-trader.biz. You can also listen to it on Apple Podcasts. It might well be on some other platforms as well. You can find Soul Trader on Twitter. You can find me, Rasheed Ogunlaru, on Twitter and across various social media platforms. Tune in again. There's more also on our YouTube channel that you can enjoy, as well as on the website. Perhaps join me for one of the sessions, the Soul Trader webinars, currently the Renew Your Business Purpose one, which will help you to dig deeper into the stuff that we've talked about today. Sending you lots of love and best wishes for you, your life, your business, and everybody involved in and around it. Take good care. All the best. Bye-bye.